Do you know about the one psychological truth Carl Jung believed humanity was not ready to hear? Hidden within his most private journals, he detailed a terrifying dynamic he observed not with monsters, but with ordinary, often charming people. He described a silent predator that hunts in plain sight, a creature he might have called the Shadow Symbiote, which doesn't just drain your energy, it consumes your very essence, your light, and then masterfully convinces you it was your idea all along. If you are an empath, a person of profound sensitivity and compassion, this is not just a theory. It is the untold story of your life. This symbiote doesn't seek the weak. It is drawn to the brightest flames, to souls like yours who were forged in the fires of chaotic childhoods. Your extraordinary ability to feel, to anticipate needs, to absorb the unspoken pain in a room wasn't a flaw. It was a survival tool. But the tragic paradox is that this same survival mechanism that protected you as a child now acts as a beacon, signaling your location to those who have learned to live by feeding on the emotional lifeblood of others. This isn't a coincidence. It is a hunt. And the most chilling part? The feeding process is entirely invisible, masked as intimacy, connection, and deep, soulful love. You are being consumed through trauma bonds you mistake for destiny, through emotional manipulation that feels like being truly seen, and through the weaponization of your own greatest gift, your compassion. This isn't about attracting difficult people. It is about being a perfect host for a psychological entity that has lost its own inner light and can now only exist by borrowing yours. But what if you could not only see this invisible predator, but also learn the forbidden method to reclaim your sovereignty without losing the beautiful gift that makes you who you are? Join me as we journey into the shadowlands of the human psyche to expose this dynamic. Because Jung's most forbidden truth is this: empaths aren't born to be victims, they are groomed to be hosts. And the first step to liberation is realizing the cage is built from your own compassion. The meeting of two souls, as Jung wrote, should be a catalyst for mutual transformation. But when an empath meets a shadow symbiote, the transformation is terrifyingly one-sided. The symbiote doesn't just trigger your empathy, it hijacks it. It has unconsciously mastered a 4-stage process of energetic consumption, a process so insidious you mistake your own depletion for devotion. Stage 1 is the resonance scan. These individuals can feel your light from across a room. They are drawn to the frequency of a person who gives more than they take, who feels a sense of responsibility for the emotional state of others. They don't see a person, they see a wellspring. Stage 2 is the vulnerability mirror. They don't approach with aggression, but with a story of pain that eerily mirrors your own deepest wounds. They become exactly who you need them to be. A fellow wounded soul, finally someone who understands. But this is a mask, a carefully crafted reflection designed to lower your defenses and open the door to your core energy. Stage 3 is the empathic siphon. Once your compassion is engaged, the systematic draining begins. They create an endless series of crises that only you can solve. They trauma dump for hours without ever asking about your day, and they make you feel like a savior, the only one pure enough to handle their darkness. They make you believe being needed is the same as being loved. Stage 4, the most sinister of all, is the illusion of purpose. The symbiote expertly reframes your exhaustion as proof of your love's depth. The brain fog, the chronic fatigue, the feeling of being emotionally hollowed out. These are presented not as symptoms of being drained, but as badges of honor for being a highly sensitive or deeply loving person. They convince you that your depletion is your sacred purpose. But here is the revolutionary insight from Jung. This isn't just a dysfunctional relationship. It is an archetypal war, the wounded healer versus the shadow devourer. The symbiote isn't necessarily evil, it is psychologically fractured. It has exiled its own capacity for genuine emotion, for light, for wholeness. And now, driven by what Jung called the shadow's hunger for completion, it seeks to find that wholeness outside of itself, in you. But it cannot integrate your light. It can only consume it, creating a terrifying feedback loop. The more light you give, the darker their shadow becomes. You cannot heal them by letting them feed on you. You cannot fill their void by becoming empty yourself. This is the empath's impossible choice. Your compassionate soul screams to save them from their darkness, but every act of giving only deepens their parasitic nature and brings you closer to extinguishing your own flame. To break free, you must learn to protect your light without hardening your heart. I call it the shield method, a framework based on Jung's most forbidden teachings for transforming from prey into a sovereign soul. First, see the signature. Every person has an energetic signature. A healthy person leaves you feeling energized, inspired, or peaceful. The Shadow Symbiote leaves you feeling drained, confused, anxious, and strangely guilty. Start journaling how you feel after every interaction. Your body is a flawless lie detector. Learn to trust its signals over their words. Second, heal your hooks. The symbiote can only attach to you where you are already wounded. Your unconscious need to be needed, your fear of abandonment, your belief that your worth comes from being useful. These are the hooks. Ask yourself, what do I get from saving broken people? By making these shadow needs conscious, you remove the very anchors the symbiote uses to latch onto you. Third, insulate your essence. Your energy is sacred and finite. Protecting it is not selfish. It is a spiritual responsibility. This means saying no to endless emotional labor. It means refusing to be a dumping ground for others' unprocessed trauma. It means choosing relationships that are reciprocal, not parasitic. Fourth, embody your authenticity. The more you dim your light to make others comfortable, the more attractive you become as a target. Own your sensitivity as a superpower. Trust your intuition as your wisest counsel. When you stand in your full, unapologetic light, you become blinding to those who thrive in the shadows. Fifth, liberate through loss. This is the hardest truth. To become sovereign, you must be willing to lose relationships that were built on your depletion. You must be willing to disappoint those who are addicted to your light. True connection will never require your self-sacrifice. And finally, discern. Don't disconnect. The goal is not to build walls and shut out the world. The goal is to develop divine discernment, the ability to offer profound compassion without taking on others' burdens, to love deeply without losing yourself. When you begin to apply this shield, be warned. The symbiote will not let go easily. It will trigger what I call the extinction burst of the shadow. They will manufacture bigger crises, accuse you of being cold and selfish, and weaponize your guilt to pull you back in. This is not a sign that you are being cruel. It is proof that your boundaries are working. Healthy people will celebrate your newfound strength. The symbiotes will accuse you of betrayal. This battle is not just for your energy, it is for your soul. Jung's ultimate warning was this: the great privilege of your life is to become who you truly are. But to do that, you must release the role of who everyone else needs you to be. Your light was never meant to be fuel for someone else's darkness. It was meant to illuminate your own path to wholeness. The world does not need more exhausted martyrs. It needs awakened empaths, sovereign souls who know how to wield their light with wisdom, discernment, and power. That is the ultimate protection, not a wall that keeps everyone out, but a consciousness that allows only love to enter. Master this, and you will never again confuse being drained with being devoted. You will stop being a host and finally become who you were always meant to be: a beacon. If this warning resonated deep within your soul, then your awakening has already begun. I want you to anchor this moment, this decision, to reclaim your power. Comment below with the simple, powerful words, "I am not a host. I am a beacon." Let's fill this space with declarations of sovereignty and show every empath who finds this video that they are not alone in this fight. And if you are ready to continue this profound journey of self-reclamation, subscribe and turn on all notifications, because in my next video, we will uncover the single most dangerous trap for the newly awakened empath. The savior complex. You've learned to protect your light, but now you must learn not to burn it all away trying to save the world. You won't want to miss it.